Well, well, well. You made it back to the fucking Truth Observatory. What are we going to talk about today? I don't know. My neck really fucking hurts. Maybe there's something behind that. Um, what if. Uh, uh, mm, uh, Consider, if you will, for a moment, if you have one. I've got a lot of moments, otherwise, I wouldn't be here making these fucking videos. Consider for a mo. Ugh, that shit is strong. What if every single thing in life happened for a reason that related to you and how you are growing in the quality and the content of your consciousness? And that everything that happened on the outside and how we viewed it subjectively as good or bad had an objective reasoning to behind why we think in certain systems and why we think in a certain manner. Does that make any sense? Are you following me? Like, if we're constantly thinking like, fuck that person and fuck this person and fuck work and fuck traffic and fuck all this shit, are we like bringing in these situations in life where it's like the universe is fucking us in every manner that we're thinking fuck it? You know what I'm saying? Or if we change our thinking and then we start saying like, oh, this is wonderful, or wonderful shit starts happening? Or is it just a belief about the situation that changes our perception of it, and that's how our reality becomes altered? Or how about here's another. Let's say it is all happening for a reason, and it has to do with our own personal and spiritual growth. Just look back on your life and look at all the situations where you were like, why is this happening? Like, what the fuck just happened? I don't understand how these people can say such a thing to each other and turn around and stop talking to each other. I don't believe she could act that way to him, or he could act that way to his dad, or yada yada yada. You know, if we had some sort of like way of like a blueprint to why this shit is happening, and it's not all just based off of like people bumping into each other and their emotions or that kind of shit, and it's not all just kind of random fucking around, and we had like a structured way of seeing the purpose behind the purpose, you know, we could figure a lot of shit out like really quick, right? I mean, if we knew why shit happened and why, if we knew why shit happened, not just because of like the causal mechanisms behind it within physical matter reality, but like the spiritual and the consciousness faculties that gave rise to those intentions and those motivations in each individual, and then how to work and shape and fashion those to like start fucking around with our belief structures to create a different reality. Like, that would be like a key to life in the universe and everything. You know what I'm saying? So this kind of brings me to my next point. I didn't think it was going to be my next point until just now. Are we like enslaved? Do we live on a slave planet? Is this matrix specifically designed for people to, you know, be enslaved to a certain degree? Like, let's take a minute and think about all of our endowments that nature has gifted us with. And now I'm speaking to people really who understand fully and comprehend what we are endowed with, the ability to create universes just by thinking about it, right? So, is this planet, is this reality system is the purpose behind the system to maintain a state of perpetual slavery. Because just think about it. I mean, how long has Earth really been here? We don't fucking know. A long time ago, it was called something else. They called Earth Tiamat. And Tiamat was on a different orbital period, and a different civilization ruled over it, with different concepts of culture and different belief systems. So, is that really Earth as we know it? Is that culture as we know it? No, it's not. Was it free then? Or did we devolve? Was there a fall of man into this, I consider it primitive. People tell me I'm in no place to judge the world. I'm just a fucking boy. Well, fuck you. I don't care, man. I know the truth. And I know we ain't living the truth. We're not living to our highest capacity. We're not fulfilling our purpose. Obviously, most of us don't even think we have a purpose. How could we be living to our fullest potential if we don't even understand our potential? And what is this? Is there some maniacal scheme by the 1%, by the bourgeoisie, by these fucking reptilian Anunnaki gods who have been here for millennia trying to keep us in this fucking condensed state of like fear and anxiety and depression, like social engineering, fucking with our entertainment, fucking with our mind's eye and our third eye, fucking with our dreams? Is that all intentional? I think there's a continual agenda to perpetuate the state of, mankind's disempowerment. And, I mean, if that's not the truth, I think you just gotta look at the culture. You gotta first wake yourself up and then look at the culture. Because what good is somebody with a closed eye looking at the culture? I don't mean to degrade anybody at all. Honestly, I don't. I love you all. Everybody is beautiful and wonderful and excellent and divine. But like, a lot of us divine beings have fallen off the vine, and we are laying on the forest floor with all the lesser critters like the ants and the snakes. We're slithering around. The earth is their dominion. The dirt is their dominion. And they've got no conception of the spirit, no conception of anything beyond the five senses, no conception of a higher power. I think that's by design. How can it not be by design? I mean, that's really up for debate, I guess. How can it not be? There's many ways that it cannot be. Excuse me. Oh, shit. It could totally be, I think it's an enslavement. So, let me talk about cultural myth. The Sumerian myths. Mythology, folklore, right? And obviously, to preface, these things aren't meant to be taken literally. I think they're meant to be taken metaphorically. So I'm not gonna, I guess I'm gonna paraphrase, and I'm gonna speak what I think the myths mean to me, and to a lot of other people who have written books about them. Frankly, I read all their books first, then I read the actual myths for themselves, and so maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I try and see it from both perspectives and kind of see, behind the eyes of the person who's writing these, what their real intention and idea was. But we're not even using the same basic programming language, so it's a really difficult thing to do. So I guess I'm kind of just speaking on some delusions, but aren't we fucking all, right? Whose delusion is whose delusion is serving themselves in the greatest manner, right? Does that make sense? Whose own belief systems, whose own thoughts about themselves are serving them most? So here's my thoughts. Here's my delusions about the Sumerian myths. The Anunnaki, right? They lived on a far-off planet way back a long, long time ago, right? And if you pay attention, you can actually see how a lot of our movies and shit is related to this, like Star Wars, mainly Star Wars. A long, long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, there existed a race of ancient beings known as the Anunnaki. They were reptilian beings. And they had a great culture and a great life. And alchemically speaking, they lived a very rich life. So, what I'm saying on the alchemical chart, you've got fire, earth, air, water. The closer you are to zero, the more pure you are. And on the furthest degree out, the more dense or the more coarse you are, right? You've got the finer elements of earth and fire, of air and water. So like you're far out on the earth scale, you've got high quality earth elements. We're talking like pure gold and silver, like uranium, shit like that. Objective elements that are very... Anyways, the fucking Sumerians, these Anunnaki, they were alchemically living a very rich life, meaning they were far out on the alchemical scale. They weren't pure. They were... I say rich, but I kind of mean coarse at this. I mean coarse at the same time, because it means that the elements are rich in their nature. They're not closer to the source of where they came. They're very out there and pure to their specific element of the four elements, right? So we've got a rich element, gold, and these Anunnakis, according to the myths and the legends and the folklore, they're taking this fucking gold and they're eating it, right? They're powdering, they're turning it into gold powder and they're eating it and they're making shit out of it, right? Because gold has got properties that affect the consciousness and the spiritual faculties of the brain, right? That's why we got like people in South America building these pyramids with 3 feet thick gold walls on the thing. Like, it's fucking incredible. People, I wonder what the average person, like, it's hard for me to get in other people's perspective because I'm so far fucking out there. Like, I wonder what people think that they're using this gold for. They're just like, oh, it's shiny and substancy and it's very nice, so let's use it to decorate everything. Like, hell no, bro. Hell no. Gold is being used for some fucking ritualistic, magical, occult purposes that have to do with like pulling specific energies from the universe so that that being's astral body can go into this other dimension. It's being used for crazy shit. Like, read the spiritual lore, okay? So they're eating this powdered gold and they fucking run out of it on their planet. And so they gotta come to another planet, right? And they do come to another planet. They come to Earth. Now, it's Tiamat. It's Earth. Here we are. Oh, that coffee's strong. Ugh, I don't like it. So they come to Earth. You got Lord Enki. E-N-K-I. He's the Lord. And you got Enlil. E-N-L-I-L. And Lord Enki and Enlil, or is it Enki? It's Enki. Enlil is his son, but Enki and this other dude, let's call him a scientist or a geneticist. And what these guys do is they go down to the native population of Earth. Who is the native population, right? The native population is likely the Jews, the original Jews, like the black people, right? The Nubians, the Ethiopians, the Etherians, the Dravidians. So these people, they go down and they genetically, not first, I mean, they get in their culture and they help create culture, right? And if you don't believe me, like, just go and look at the Indus Valley and go and look throughout Egypt and Indonesia and, like I said, Ethiopia. And there's statues everywhere of, like, it's serpent worship all the way around. The only reason serpents became demonized is with these three main religions we got nowadays: Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. But before these Abrahamic traditions, but before that, the serpents, they were worshipped as gods, as the creator, as the creatress, the creational spirit, the divine energy. Quetzalcoatl is like a giant winged feathered serpent. It's craziness, all right? They come down here and they get in the culture. They teach language, they bring mathematics, they bring tantra, they bring meditation. Like, all this shit was practiced in Egypt. People don't realize that, like, yoga was first practiced in Egypt. All this stuff originally belonged to those peoples, right? The black peoples, the natives of Earth. I'm sure there were other natives. I mean, I'm just talking about a story, right? Still tastes like shit. They get in their culture, and then they start to genetically alter the people. And if that's done by, like, on the spiritual plane somehow, on the astral plane, if that is done by some advanced scientific, from their perspective, scientific means, using tools and scalpels and fusion or something, I don't know, dude. Or if that's just done by taking a certain race of their own kind and making them go breed with the humans, and then using the forthcoming generations as this genetically altered offspring to domineer over and use them as their own slaves. I mean, this is what the texts say, that they started to use them as slaves. And what did they do with these slaves? What did they do? They mined gold, right? They made them mine gold. So, and they would eat the gold, right? So what is this? Are they eating gold? Are they actually eating gold? Or is gold some sort of metaphor for the human soul and how the energy of that can be harvested? That's where I'm leaning with this. Or auras, O-R-E. So now we've got all these religions that really have got their fundamental belief systems, right? If you've made it this far, congratulations. Just listening to me fucking ramble. So, in Sumer, the capital of Sumer was U-R. It was like basic ass language. But there was 7 kings of the 7 cities of And within the perennial philosophy, that is an ideology that spans all religions, essentially all religions. And it says that there is an underlying fundamental truth that connects all of these, really, that they're all based off of. And the core of the different religions, the core is their separation of finer details of these fundamental truths. So, does the truth of these religions become more and more encoded as culture continues to evolve and they continue to branch off into new cultures and thought systems? Like, when we are looking at, let's say, Christianity, we've got like this covenant that God sends, and it's a rainbow, right? What is a rainbow? You know, God is light. So he sends us a rainbow. And it's 7 colors, you know. Roy G. Biv is the rainbow, is 7 colors. The idea is that these 7 colors are the 7 gods. And that they have come into some sort of communion or some sort of agreement, like, and they're all holding hands for a long ass time, right? In a big circle. It's a big old ring. It's a fucking rainbow. It's an arc. Like, what is a rainbow? It's an arc. It's the Ark of the Covenant. What is the covenant? It's light and sound. It's vibration. It's 7 different spheres of color. Are these the 7 gods? Does each color have a different impact on the consciousness of an individual? You will find that yes, colors draw on your instinctual nature. They draw up instincts that come back that are encoded in your DNA since you were a caveman. You see a certain color, automatically you're feeling a different type of way than if you weren't seeing that color. And you start to look into what these colors mean, you'll start seeing, like, what is black, what is white. Include those 2, it's 9. What do these 7 colors mean? What are they supposed to make you feel? You start looking at, you can go read the literature, and then you can start to look out into your everyday life and see that these, like, why does every single fast food place use red and blue, right? There's an obvious, it's not obvious, obviously it has to be pointed out. It's a plane, it's right in our sight, like, it is our sight. There's a plain blueprint being used behind these colors on a corporate level that's still being used today. And it's like, you just gotta fucking understand what the colors mean, and you can figure out what the intentions are behind this entity, aka a corporation, right? Because corporate entities have the same rights as people, so you have to kind of look at it like that. Anyways, we went from Sumer to McDonald's, but these gods, right? They're still here. They're still these colors. They're still affecting our subconscious. They're still at play. But nobody really knows it. It's not just colors, right? Like, it's tones, it's vibrations. I mean, it's just like it's a false god, really. Like, God, the real God, the Most High, he ain't a color. She, it, he, she, androgen, the nothing is not a color. It's clear. There is no color, right? And these 7 colors from a galaxy far, far away, they're a false god. They're the false gods. And they've been working this. I mean, you can go back in Egypt and see these engravings, like, inside the pyramids of these big-headed fucking dudes, these pine cone things, like, pointing them at people's pineal glands, working on this massive tree of life. They're assumed to be making alterations to the genetics of the tree of life. So, I mean, just trying to make some sense out of it. Like, is this planet a prison planet? Is that its purpose, or are we just incarnated in a specific time where one particular ruling class has had its hold on us for a very, very long time? Are we coming out of this age? They say we're moving into the age of Aquarius. You know, man's age, the age of ether, the age where man becomes to know himself, the water bearer. Coming out of Pisces, right? Pisces is the feet. Pisces corresponds to the feet, the 2 fish. You know, you look down at your feet when you're walking, one's always trying to get in front of the other. It's a constant competition, right? They're not equal. That's the age we were just in for 2,000 years, and we've come out of it. We're in a transition period. So the astrology says. The feet, the dominion of the feet is the ground. Same as the snake. Same as the Anunnaki. So I just thought I'd fucking rant, like, it just seems so fucking crazy sometimes. Like, we're obviously not fucking free. We're obviously not free. Whose fault is it that we're not free? Is it just everybody that's collectively a dumbass? Or is there some serious shit going on that we need to know about? You know? So, that's what I ponder. That's what I want you people to ponder. Thanks for tuning in to the Truth Observatory. Talk to you next time. Probably about the same shit. Like, I don't know. Take it easy, guys. I love you. Have a blessed day.